The white-robed man spoke with a mocking tone, revealing his intent to observe Han Li's actions, intrigued by his unique aura. As Han Li stood silent, he noted the faint gray light around the man's body, a familiar presence to Mo Yu's. Despite the man's derision, Han Li remained calm, aware of his opponent's hidden power. The gray immortal manipulated the golden lock on the scaled beast, suppressing its power, and the creature moved once again. As the battle resumed, Han Li summoned his Dao warriors, dark yellow beings that transformed into fierce warriors, clashing with the ape-like creatures. Meanwhile, he directed his Essence Fire Raven to assist Immortal Lord Hot Flame, who was struggling against the enemies. The battle became intense, with Han Li questioning the Gray Immortal's powers. Han Li's questions about the Gray Immortal's baleful Qi cultivation techniques were met with laughter, followed by a fierce exchange of blows. The Gray Immortal unleashed a black shield of baleful Qi, only for Han Li to shatter it with his sword. Han Li then employed the profound heavenly gourd to summon a powerful vortex, but the Gray Immortal retaliated by revealing a mysterious black badge that blocked Han Li's azure bamboo cloudswarm sword. Realizing his opponent's strength, Han Li activated his golden spirit domain and used his mantra domain to switch positions, decapitating the scaled beast in a single stroke. The Gray Immortal, now on the defensive, attempted to flee in a silver form, but Han Li trapped him with a golden vortex. As the silver figure exploded in a burst of gray light, Han Li turned his attention to the scaled beast, which attempted to devour its master's body. With a swift strike, Han Li cleaved the scaled beast in two, then searched the Gray Immortal's body, finding a bone bracelet. He refined it, though it revealed no secrets, and wore it for the time being. After disposing of the body, Han Li joined Immortal Lord Hot Flame to eliminate the remaining enemies. The ground littered with the fallen foes. Immortal Lord Hot Flame, troubled by the sight, asked if the Gray Realm was involved, and Han Li's silence spoke volumes about the looming threat. In the heart of the valley, Han Li and Immortal Lord Hot Flame found themselves face to face with a peculiar array. Built from white stone blocks, emitting gray mist and spatial fluctuations, it was clear that the Gray Realm was responsible for this mystical formation. After a brief exchange of words, they deduced that this array was but a fragment of a larger, incomplete spatial array, likely designed to create a gateway between the Gray Realm and the true Immortal Realm. Han Li warned that, should the array be completed, the space would collapse, bringing catastrophic consequences to the true Immortal Realm. Meanwhile, Shi Chuankong and Feng Lin, battered and bruised, stood among the ruined bodies of their companions. The battle had left its toll, but their attention was soon captured by the eerie gray mist emerging from a rift. Shi Chuankong, recognizing the ominous threat, hastily summoned a shield of purple light to protect them. Yet the gray lightning swiftly overwhelmed them, sending them crashing to the ground. As Shi Chuankong scrambled to aid Feng Lin, four figures emerged from the mist. Gray Immortals. With no time to waste, Shi Chuankong unleashed a deadly barrage of black lightning talismans. The fight had only just begun, and the fate of the true Immortal Realm hung in the balance. Amidst the clash of mighty powers, the gray skeleton led with a raspy command, urging a swift end to the battle. A bone staff gleamed in its grip, unleashing a streak of gray light that devoured the bolts of black lightning conjured by Shi Chuankong. With a flash, Shi Chuankong retreated, holding Feng Lin tightly, only to be pursued by the relentless gray light. The Gray Immortals, empowered by their spectral forces, joined the fray. A spear crackled with the energy of a gray dragon, while a whip lashed through the air, entwining their foe. The skeleton released more gray light, weaving a net to ensnare Shi Chuankong. Undeterred, Shi Chuankong summoned his devilish dragon halberd, its dragon head roaring with power, cleaving through the space in its path. Yet the gray net withstood the assault, the halberd weakening under its fiery grasp. Desperation filled Shi Chuankong's heart as he launched a counterattack, black dragon projections and silver winds tearing through the net. But the Gray Immortals were unscathed, their resilience unmatched. Seizing a fleeting moment, Shi Chuankong escaped with Feng Lin, scattering himself into countless silver shuttles. Vanishing from sight, the Gray Immortals debated, shocked by the death of Fang Jin, their own fallen ally. The Gray Skeleton, Mr. Gu, undeterred by the loss, directed the group to press on, sweeping through the gray mist that devoured the battlefield, setting its sights on the escaping duo. Meanwhile, Han Li and Immortal Lord Hotflame ventured deeper into the true mantra sect ruins. Forewarned by the appearance of the Grey Immortals, they proceeded cautiously, their path leading to an ancient mountain and the pristine True Mantra Palace, its gleaming white walls untouched by time or destruction. The quest for the great five-element illusion mantra continued, shrouded in danger and mystery. Immortal Lord Hotflame let out a jubilant exclamation, his voice filled with triumph. This place is perfectly preserved. Han Li, ever the cautious one, observed the surroundings with his infernal devilish eyes. He quickly deduced that the area was heavily protected by a concealed array, the Heaven and Earth Dust Array, a sophisticated defensive formation capable of deceiving even high zenith stage cultivators. Immortal Lord Hotflame, confident in his abilities, assured Han Li that he had a way to bypass the array. With a deft motion, he produced a jade plate and infused it with a seal. The plate erupted in radiant silver light, forming a ball that encapsulated the two of them. They moved cautiously, weaving through the labyrinth of white light streaks that formed the outer layer of the array. Han Li, with his keen eyes, could see beyond the surface. Each speck of light contained an independent world teeming with life, an intricate design that, if disturbed, would trigger the entire array. After hours of careful navigation, the duo reached a more complex portion of the array. Immortal Lord Hotflame warned Han Li of the dangers ahead. With focused determination, they continued, but just as the threat intensified, the entire array suddenly unraveled, allowing them to proceed. In moments, they stood before the majestic gates of the True Mantra Palace, a grand structure that seemed to dwarf them with its size. The atmosphere was heavy with mystery, and Han Li felt an ominous presence emanating from within. With great caution, Han Li extended his spiritual sense only to be repelled by an invisible force. Despite the foreboding sensation, they pressed forward, stepping into the dim, silent passageway within the palace. The darkness seemed to stretch on endlessly, and Han Li's unease grew as the quiet was broken by the sound of faint sobbing. When he turned to ask Immortal Lord Hotflame about it, he found that the latter had mysteriously vanished. Han Li, now alone, could sense that something was terribly amiss. His connection to his allies and spiritual tools had been severed. The eerie silence and oppressive darkness weighed on him, but he dared not turn back. As he proceeded, he was struck by arrows of black light, yet they posed no true threat. What unsettled him most was the complete absence of any response, save for the sudden rush of black light. With sharp reflexes, he dodged the arrows, but then the darkness intensified, and a shrill cry pierced the air. Han Li staggered back as the second arrow struck, inflicting unbearable pain deep within his soul. Unable to see or illuminate the path before him, Han Li was trapped in this surreal nightmare, his every step fraught with uncertainty and danger. Han Li's senses were suddenly deprived, plunging him into a maddening darkness. His eyesight vanished, leaving him blind, while the absence of his spiritual sense left him vulnerable. Each moment, the black arrows shot forth with unrelenting speed, their sound cutting through the air like a predator's cry. With his hearing lost, Han Li was left to rely on his remaining instincts. Yet the arrows still found their mark, causing intense pain and deepening his desperation. In his struggle, his great universe origin arts surged forth, knitting together his wounds as best it could, but his body was weakening with every strike. The cold, searing pain in his abdomen and chest sent him reeling, and still the arrows came, faster, relentless. He summoned his treasures, but the ethereal black arrows pierced through them, leaving no defense. Struggling against the onslaught, Han Li's body became drenched in blood, each injury more grievous than the last. Even with his incredible constitution, his strength faltered. In a final burst of resolve, he rushed forward, disregarding his injuries. Yet fate seemed cruel as yet another arrow severed his arm. His touch, like everything else, had abandoned him, and he was left in the cruel grip of an overwhelming despair. The darkness closed in as his dantian was destroyed, leaving him on the precipice of death. His mind, fueled by his thoughts of Nangong Wan, clung to the very essence of life. In the final moments, his consciousness flickered, and an immense warmth surged through him. Pulling him from the abyss, Han Li awoke to find himself unscathed, standing in an azure palace surrounded by a concerned immortal Lord Hot Flame. It had all been an illusion, a trial to test his will. And despite his unpreparedness, Han Li had emerged victorious. His mental fortitude had carried him through the impossible, and the trial had left him changed, his senses sharpened in ways he could not yet fully comprehend.